It's 5 a.m. 5 a.m. and I've got big zooms out. Pant. I've never heard anything like it, and I've got it as cool as I possibly can. She's looking so well, but her legs are so... See, that's what I can't understand. She gets down for a pee so well. Don't know whether she's not suffering some discomfort somewhere. But a dog can't tell you, can it? And a vet is quite capable of testing every part of the body at extreme cost. She's eating well and looking well, and there's no doubt that her legs are struggling. Yeah, I was only thinking, there's somebody else I know yesterday ended up, well, it's been a bit of an up and down relationship, but the last picture I saw of him yesterday, a very dear friend, was with the back doors open and kipping in a van with the dog. Yeah. I can't recall a time in my life as the last 5 or 6 years where I've witnessed and know so many young men personally. When I say young men, it's wrong to say young men. I'm talking, mid-30s to, well, probably 40s to 50s, 50 plus. So many who have lost everything. I can't count them on one hand, and I'm talking about personal friends. And I don't fucking in any way hold a great big group of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. If I had to include people that I'd heard about, or a conversation that I overheard yesterday as a guy passing my place said to a lady below that he'd finally got somewhere private to rent. He wasn't a young man, well into his 50s, and that the reason he hadn't been able to get anything with an housing association is that an housing association by the name of River, I forget the name of them now, but they are an housing association around here, had accused him of leaving his last place with damage. Apparently damage to a back door or something. I've heard of other occasions where people have been told they're no longer allowed to apply at housing associations. One guy in particular because of damage to the kitchen. This was a kitchen, that had been there for 15 years. What's the wear and tear on a fucking poxy, fucking shitty, wood chip, vinegared in shite kitchen? They don't last 15 years. With leaky fucking taps and pipes. Badly fitted by the original housing association. No, I just think this is an excuse to fucking socially fuck us up. Socially leave us on the streets in fucking dire times like we're living in now. I hope it isn't happening to women and children. I fear it probably is. But it's certainly the target by some of these bitches who work for these associations. The target fucking is aimed at the head of the fucking 35 plus male. Who's already probably gone through enough in life as it is without having been told that he's not entitled and that everything he has to look for must come from the private sector. And I know Eddie's going to say, well, he's had to do it for years, and I'm fucking glad you got through it, pal. But you're talking about massive deposits. You're talking about, deposits that in many cases will never be fucking returned. You're talking about, well, references that are unavailable in many cases if people have had a bad time. I don't recall a time like this. Councils were obliged to house you. I know of people who have been right arseholes And they've been housed and housed and housed again by the local councils. And this has just been another way that the local authorities has dropped another one of their fucking so-called obligations, something that they were supposed to fucking adhere to. And yeah, they've just passed it on to an housing association who've been, let's face it, I've told you about Gateway Housing Association of Preston. It was built up around probably 70 or 80% of ex-Preston City Council staff, who I would imagine probably got a nice payout and then re-employed at Community Gateway Housing Association, all at the cost of the people of the town, who, let's face it, the homes originally belonged to. Come on, Zoom. But what other option do the males of the system have other than to go to private housing, which this government has openly admitted does not need to be fit for human habitation? Well, I think that was proven in the first case by my place, 38 Centre Avenue. Yeah, if you're new to this channel and you haven't seen the video of the state of that place that it was handed over in, then I mean, that wasn't fit for human habitation, and that was an housing association. But yeah, I really fear for us. I do. We've become the cannon fodder of the modern day fucking let's say up and coming, aspiring young woman, in many cases, who is prepared to put the foot on the throat of an old man under the instructions of a domineering fucking, let's say, preacher of negative empowerment. Yeah. Don't know. What about that fucking charade yesterday? Huh? What a fucking joke, wasn't it? Davis goes, Mr. David Davis, the head of Brexit, the secretary of Brexit. Old Bojo pulls out half an hour before Theresa's due to speak in the Commons. Green goes a bit later. And she's still hanging on. Yeah. Quite frightening, isn't it? Can't say they're not quitters in that, though. They're all quitting. But she's just a repulsive woman, isn't she? She is whatever's been pushed down her throat by mummy and daddy and by her schooling, she's unprepared to admit defeat. And as for old Duncton shit, he jumped up, didn't he? From a position of being seated, which I don't normally see him in, and tore into Corbyn, didn't he? Huh? Evil men. That's an evil man. Smith is an evil man. What he's pushed through, what McVeigh have pushed through has been evil. Yeah? They've just purely and simply judged us all to be bums. There are certain people in society who struggle to the extreme, and struggle to the extent where they cannot adhere to fucking what people class as normal life, and they should be helped. Yeah, there are others who take the piss out of it, but they're few and far between. But the trouble is, this Tory government has pointed at every single one of us who've come into any kind, like I say, of relationship breakdown, of financial difficulty, of responsibility of children, of fucking parents. Yeah, they've pointed a finger at each one of those people, no matter what the circumstances, because I can assure you, yeah, on my son's life, that nobody from Preston Council, Gateway Housing Association, or the courts looked into a single part of my past, looked into a single part of the struggle that I'd gone through as a single parent. Yeah, looked into a single part of the struggle I was having looking after a severely disabled father. I mean, these fuckers in the end were actually paying me carer's allowance, and yet didn't have the fucking gumption to put two and two together and realise, well, I think they actually did. I think they did, but they just wanted to carry on, you know, kicking me in the balls by then. As I've said in the past, they thought I'd been dead by now, and I'm quite sure, as another post popped up yesterday, and I don't know the circumstances, but it's another young man who's lost his life, and as much as I'm seeing more and more people not being able to find a roof over their head, I'm hearing about more and more young people, and when I say young, I'm talking, like I say, from mid-20s onwards. I'm talking about young people who are losing their life. Yeah, whether it be through, well, whatever it be through. That's horrendous, that. Look at that. Down by a kid's swimming area. Look at that. This is these Budweiser bottles. The glass is so thin that it splinters like nothing on earth. I actually, we bought a type of beer the other week that my son and his mate wanted. I forget, Hop 33 or Hop 3. I believe it's made by a big company. But the glass, a bottle rolled out of the fridge. I've never seen a bottle shatter like that. That was all stock, wasn't it? That type of glass. I thought glass had to, like, you know, break in a way that it would no longer endanger people. Fucking, I know there's always going to be a certain amount of danger, but it took me fucking an hour to clean the kitchen floor. It shot in every direction and splintered like a fucking bomb had gone off. Anyway, I'm changing the subject, but that's me, isn't it? And I've ranted on again for 12 fucking minutes today about what I started on about the fucking disaster that is facing men especially in this country today, and about the simple fact that a lot of us aren't going to live through this. It certainly won't be as many as a war, but a lot won't live through it, but a lot will be left desperately traumatised through what they're having to go through, and I can vouch for that personally.